Yo, what is up, guys? XRP's at $1.11 right now on CoinMarketCap. Our first tweet comes from the Crypto Squire. Microsoft is in. Microsoft has officially launched production operations for tokenized shares with the DTCC. Ripple and XRP are already positioned at the core of the DTCC's tokenized settlement initiative. The world's biggest companies are moving. Our next tweet comes from SmokeDQG. DTCC ISDA webinar reveals key details behind the 2026 tokenization rollout plans. Watch. Let's watch this video.
Great. And then you mentioned this is like there's a pilot phase going on, right? So there's a timing angle to this. Perhaps you could say a bit about what you see as being the phasing of this project.
Yeah, so we're expecting to have our first launch in early Q3, and that first launch will be limited in scale, both in terms of numbers of assets and numbers of participants. It will be a live pilot, and it will be, doing it in a way that we make sure that everything happens appropriately and in a controlled way. From there, our participants will have more access to our testing environments throughout the summer. And then we're expecting a phased rollout into the fall, so October, and then beyond towards the end of the year. And through that phased rollout, we will increase the amount of assets that will be available. So on day one, it will be a very narrow set of assets just to verify that the process works in production. And then we will add the numbers of assets, meaning that we won't go from 0 to 1,000. We'll probably go from 0 to 20 and 100 and then beyond. And again, really just to maintain that control framework to make sure that everything's working properly, so the volume can be scaled in a way that's controlled, and that our members have, and the market has the opportunity to both see how it works, see how things interact, develop their frameworks and structures, because we really are doing this in parallel. What we're building and the market is building, again, wallets and policies and procedures and all those kind of things that need to be done. So it will happen over time, gradually throughout I would say, the end of Q3 towards the end of the year, and then from 2027 we really expect to ramp up.
Very exciting. That's great.
Smash the subscribe button and hit that like button if you believe XRP will reach $3 again this year. Our next tweet comes from the Crypto Squire. Japan and XRP. Japan remains one of the strongest markets for XRP, with institutions and businesses continuing to adopt Ripple's ecosystem. Its role in the future of XRP keeps growing. The world is watching. Our next tweet comes from Bitcoin Magazine. Just in, Circle's president talks Clarity Act on Fox. There are many financial institutions, traditional financial institutions, that really want to get in this space. Let's watch this video.
So you've got the Genius Act passed, but the Clarity Act is still being held up by banks in many cases that have real problems with it. And some of that might be that they sense you guys are stepping on their air hose and they don't like the new opportunities that other people are seizing. So give me your assessment of when the Clarity Act might really finally pass.
Well, we're hoping as soon as possible, because I think it's really important that people understand that this is more than just any old financial regulation. This whole area, starting with the Genius Act, is really an upgrade of the U.S. payment systems, and it allows us to win in the next generation of the internet, which is the internet of value. Mm-hmm. And so in some ways, it's very important for economic and national security that the U.S. be able to lead. And right now, there are many financial institutions, traditional financial institutions, that really want to get into this space. They want to experiment. They want to be a part of it. They want to start moving value on chain.
Sure.
But the lack of legal certainty is holding them back. So it's a really important law.
Our next tweet comes from Crypto Barbie. Breaking: U.S. President Donald Trump has again called on the Senate to pass the Clarity Act in honor of Senator Lindsey Graham. Our next tweet comes from Bitcoin Magazine. Just in, Elon Musk says to end the Fed. Let's watch this video.
On behalf of America, for the idiots you have to deal with for what you're doing for us to improve our country. Second of all, my question is, what is your opinion on the Federal Reserve, and do you have any intentions of doing anything with them?
And the Fed. Yeah. I don't know. I always wanted to say that, But I mean, I think there's like 20,000 people that work at the Fed. Seems pretty high. It's like there's a lot of people that work at the Fed, and it seems like, why do we have so many people at the Fed, and what do they do? And sometimes I wonder which one would win. The federal for interest rates, the board of the Federal Reserve, or a Magic 8 Ball. And I'm like, I think the Magic 8 Ball might win. So then I'm like, well, Magic 8 Ball is a lot cheaper. You know, it's like you shake it, it says, check back again later. I'm like, okay. Same thing. But I think what really matters is that government spending is not far in excess of government revenue. That's a fundamental issue that we have, where we have a deficit of $2 trillion, and we have interest payments that now exceed the entire budget of the military. In fact, that was a big wake-up call for me, was when the amount of money that we pay in national debt interest exceeded the Defense Department budget. I'm like, Defense Department budget is very big, and interest is higher than that and climbing. That's a disaster. You know, so the very simple, straightforward goal of the Doge team is to get rid of waste and fraud. It's mostly waste. Or depending on how, you know, I'd say it's probably 80% waste, 20% fraud, something like that.
Our next tweet comes from Amon YX. New: Citi sees XRP as one of the most powerful long-term investment opportunities in the market. Our next tweet comes from Crypto Barbie. Huge news. Senator Cynthia Lummis says, "We are ready. We are introducing in the next few days to get this bill across the finish line. Clarity is coming. Let's watch this video."
Well, it's taken us virtually every day for the last 10 months to get this bill in the condition it's in today, and we're ready. So we will be introducing in the next few days. We're going to be in session now for 4 straight weeks. It's very important that we get this bill across the finish line before the August recess begins, so we can make the markets aware of the stability that will be provided to them if they remain onshore in the United States to do business. This is a pivotal time for the industry, and we want to meet their needs. We also want to meet the needs of law enforcement with regard to preventing illicit finance and provide consumer protections. We think we've accomplished that goal with this bill. It's been arduous, but we're ready for prime time.
Absolutely. So is it fair to say this bill will be on the Senate floor the week of July 20th?
Well, I expect it'll be that week, but considering the important things that we have to deal with in these 4 weeks, Senator Thorn will make the final decision about which week to bring clarity to the floor. We're voting today on the motion to proceed to the National Defense Authorization Act, and as you know, we've got issues with Save America to deal with and other things as well. But Senator Thorn is well aware of the importance this bill provides for market stability for digital assets. So I think he'll schedule it this 4-week period.
Our next tweet comes from the Crypto Squire. Monica Long confirms. Ripple President Monica Long says institutional demand for XRP and RLUSD is like nothing we've ever seen. Institutional adoption appears to be accelerating. Our next tweet comes from Crypto Barbie. Wow, Senator Kevin Cramer eyes August 7 deadline to pass the Clarity Act. Let's watch this video.
A couple of other things that I know you're familiar with.
Well, we thought, you know, it was easy to pass housing, right? I mean, we thought it was easy to pass the Clarity Act. What about the Clarity Act missing its proposed July 4th deadline? It passed the House almost a year ago. It's been held up in the Senate as well, Senator. Is that going to pass soon? We just spoke with the head of the CFTC, and he says we're close to the finish line, but it feels like deja vu again on that.
Well, it does. The Clarity Act is a little, you know, we did pass it out of the committee, as you know, out of the banking committee with Democratic votes, but even the Democrats that voted for it in committee won't vote for it on the floor unless a couple of things are straightened out, one of them being some of the ethics language, which I think, by the way, Democrats are insisting on simply because Donald Trump's the president and because he's successful at business, which is bizarre to me. I mean, if we punished every president who was successful at something and said they can't, you know, they can't legislate, if they're a farmer like Jimmy Carter, they can't sign a farm bill. I mean, Hoover was in the mining business, for crying out loud. There are lots of potential conflicts, but it's all about Donald Trump in this case. I think there are a couple of those things. That's something that the White House is going to have to work out with Democrats, quite honestly. It's between them. And if the CFTC commissioner chair thinks that we're close, it may be something. There may be something that we know that he knows that we don't know. So I'm still hopeful for clarity. The good thing about clarity, Maria, is both sides do want to do it.
Yeah.
They do want to have good legislation along, the issue, obviously, of cryptocurrency, and we need to.
Real quick, if this helped, press the like button. It tells YouTube to show this to people who want the truth, not hype. And press the subscribe button if you're done being sold the moon. I've already got your next one right here. Go!